Sandy Munro has repeatedly insisted over and over again that Tesla is many years ahead of its competition, but that was before Sandy got to drive two biggest competitors that are emerging this year, the Volkswagen ID4 and the Ford Mustang Mach-E. So, did he change his mind? Well, let's ask him when he's going to be here in just a moment, and we're going to do that right now. Welcome to E4 Electric, your #1 source of electric car scoop. If you are interested in everything that's going on in the world of electric cars, including Sandy Munro's monthly appearances on this channel, well, all you have to do is click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. Alright, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you've probably heard Sandy say this over and over again in my conversations with him about the competition and how far ahead he believes Tesla is. But just like I said, things are changed. He has managed to get his hands on both of the biggest competitors that Tesla has emerging this year, the ID4 and the Ford Mustang Mach-E. As you guys know, I am myself an ID4 owner, so my opinion may be a little bit biased just because I absolutely fell in love with that car. But let's ask the man himself. But before that, of course, a quick reminder that this video in this channel is sponsored by XPeng Motors. Check out the P7, a beautiful electric sedan I just got to enjoy myself the other month. It is equipped with the X-Pilot 3.0 self-driving tech with navigation-guided autonomous driving feature and even some cool games. You can watch my full review of the P7 on this channel and also check out the XPeng Motors on Facebook. Both links are down below. All right, Sandy, so I know we've visited this topic before, and as you became a bigger and bigger Tesla fan over the last few years, and you know, rightfully so, you believe that they are much more advanced and ahead of their competition. But you know, this year, there are two what's considered to be the biggest future competitors to Tesla in ID4 and a Mustang Mach-E, and you and I have both got to play with both of them. I actually just bought the ID4 myself, so I thought, you know, why not revisit this and see if you now still feel the same way. So do you feel that Tesla is very much ahead of everybody else, and if so, by how much?
Yes, I do. I do believe that Tesla's further ahead, and technologically, maybe 5 to 8 years. And just for me, I would say that I would put the ID4 in last place. I think that I was really pleasantly surprised with the Mach-E. I don't know if I ever told you, but I didn't want to drive it. I didn't want to rent it. I didn't think that it was going to be worthwhile. I thought it was going to be something like a Bolt. But I was really, really enthusiastic about the ID4. I thought that VW was going to come in and basically swoop the market. And after driving it, I think they've got a great taxi. You've got a great taxi in the ID4. I don't. That's not for me, but that's. It's going to be a great taxi, except it doesn't have enough space. But that's just, you know, what do I care?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as we talked when I was on your show, is that I feel like there's a different electric car for different people. ID4 is perfect. Right. I mean, I'm loving it. But at the same time, you know, Mustang Mach-E is great, and some people will never ever consider anything but Tesla. And you know, everyone's right in their own way. But okay, yeah. So technologically, tell me where exactly Tesla is very much advanced. You say in 5 to 8 years. That's a lot. Tell me like top 3 categories where they're really ahead, and maybe why.
Why is beyond my ken, because we've done our share of looking at these products, but Tesla's got stuff that is just more advanced than what we can really understand. We obviously haven't had a chance to look at their software, but I can tell you right now that if they've got ADAS systems that I think are at level 4 at least, nobody else has got that. I look at the, this is just left over from the last meeting I had, but battery size. Tesla's got 75 kilowatts. The Ford Mustang has got an 88 kilowatt hour battery. The ID4, 82 kilowatt hour battery, and then the Audi has got 95 kilowatt. And yet, when I go to look at the combined city and highway driving, Tesla's at 125 miles per gallon. The Mach-E is at 101 miles per gallon. The what do you call it? The Volkswagen is at 97, and the Audi is at 78. So the guy with the most battery potential has got the least amount of MPG. So I don't know what to tell you. This is like right off the web. You can buy this off the web. To me, I just look at it and say, why is it that they've got 75 kilowatt hours and yet they've got a bigger range? 326 miles is their range. The range, according to what I've got here in front of me, for the Mustang Mach-E is 305, and then 82 kilowatt hour battery, and they got 250 miles, and then here we got 95 kilowatt hours for the Audi e-tron and 222 miles. That's got to tell you something right there. Technologically, they're advanced. So that's just for batteries. And that's just, I mean, how do you get more out of something is always, to me, it's a big struggle for me to say, oh, it's an even fight. It's not. These guys are just beating the competition. And the only way that I know of making that happen is by the reduction of the number of modules. There's twice as many electronic modules in a ID4 as there is in a Tesla Model Y. Why? What's the rationale? All those things take up power. All those things add weight. All those things slow you down. And quite frankly, when you're looking at 80 plus connections compared to the 25 that they've got inside the Tesla, that's just a quality issue waiting to happen. Connections come free.
All right, so we're obviously talking about the battery technology, and I think it's hard to argue that Tesla is going to be on top for a while.
Right.
What else do you feel that's really setting them aside?
I will tell you. Okay. I drove the Model 3 is still here, and I just drove it again last weekend. I drove it around, and you know what? I really like driving that car. It drives like a BMW, and I've always liked BMW for driving characteristics. It feels to me like a 5 Series, a 3, better than a 3, and just about a little less than a 5. It goes like a scalded cat. It's intuitive to me. I had no end of problems trying to find out how to make things work on the ID4. I instantly got used to the Tesla. It's very easy for me to go from push buttons and switches to what I got on the Tesla. And initially I thought, this is like crazy. I'll never figure this out. And yet, and I was done. With the ID4, actually the two guys that were with me on that road trip are sitting right here, and they're not sitting, they're standing, and they're making sure that they can escape because they saw me when I was very angry. I really didn't have a good time with the ID4, and I was doing a lot of yelling and screaming, and I'm surprised that both of them are still here. But Eric and Zach are strong guys, I guess. So they managed to stick around. So I like the intuitive characteristics of that car, and I love the seats. From an interior standpoint, the only thing I wished it had was a little box up front that allowed me to see how fast I was going, because I almost never look over, and doing 100 and I shouldn't be going that fast. So that would be kind of handy. But if I had something like that, I'd only want like a very small amount of information. Just how fast am I going? That's all I need. I don't need anything else. Yeah, but that's the only correction or the only thing that would make my life happier. That's it.
It's so weird that you say that. I know we talked about it on your show too, because I found the user interface very easy, except for air conditioning. That one drove me crazy as well. But
that's got the little what do you call it, slider, and quite frankly, that's the thing I caught on to first. I got really lucky with that. So for me, that one, boom, that fast, and I was done. But the rest, I mean, I wanted something to come up, and it wouldn't come up. I could make it work on the Mach-E, and I could make it work on the Tesla, and I was at the end of the trip by the time I figured out what was going on with the ID4.
Yeah, Mach-E's got a great user interface. I think if one thing we agree on is definitely Mach-E's been, they put a lot of effort into that. All right, now, so I know you just told me the answer is I don't know, but at the same time, there's got to be an answer when, these manufacturers, whether it's Ford, Volkswagen, whatever, Mercedes, they're seeing where Tesla is. They have the money, they have the engineers, and they kind of all, correct me if I'm wrong, essentially using the same battery cells. What is stopping them from trying to at least get to Tesla close? I mean, do they need to hire better people? Do they need to get better chemistry in the batteries? Like, what is? I mean, obviously they see it. You're not giving out any secrets today.
No.
What do they need to do?
For me, I would suggest that. You know what? I'm going to change. I'm going to do something that normally I don't do, because I'm very interested in watching. I would really like to see electric vehicles catch on. I put a lot of faith in VW, and I've made a lot of statements that I know irritated the snot out of a lot of people. I think what they need to do is they need to send that car to a company like Munro. If we got it, we'd be delighted. And we will tear it apart, and we will analyze it, and we will redesign it and give them back the information so that they can make a car that I think is deserving of the VW badge. I'll tell you, when we get done, it'll have a lot of things that are different. It'll be lighter. It'll have a lot less electronic problems, because there will have problems in the future. And it'll be a lot lighter. So a lighter, more technologically advanced, and I think giving them a better interface would be a good idea as well.
No, I like the interface, but all right. Now, so at the same time, let me ask you this. So yeah. I know you see more than most people see, because you literally get under the hood and in every single corner of each car. But if we're talking about just regular consumers, right? Yeah. Do they really care, and should they really care about how these cars are put together? Is this one piece or 100 pieces? Is one connection or 100 connection? All they care about, here's a car, here's the range that's, let's say, acceptable to me, off I go. Tell me, should they really care about what's under the hood?
Yes, and the reason for that is because the more you've got going on under the hood, the more connections, the more parts, the more issues you're going to have from a maintenance standpoint. The quality issues are just going to come and eat you alive. And when I look at something like the ID4 or the Mach-E or the Audi or whomever, I don't care which one it is, if I see too many things that should be combined into one, I know that that's going to have issues. There's no such thing. Statistics don't lie. And Dr. Deming used to say the only thing that you should try and do is to simplify, simplify, simplify. Okay, and that's what we do. When we go and look at something, we do everything we can to simplify. Sometimes it'll irritate our customers because they say, well, wait a minute, why can't we just use what we got off the shelf? Well, because if you use what off the shelf and you glue them all together, sooner or later you're going to have a failure. You have to. Statistics are not on your side. And so people should look at what's the simplest product I can get. Not from a feature standpoint. I believe that features are important. But what I do see as an issue is when you start making connections or adding extra bits and pieces that shouldn't be there. For instance, what in the world what value does that stupid knob on the Mach-E have for my radio? What, are you kidding me? There's no reason for that thing. Get rid of it. Why do they have a start and stop button? Why? Get rid of it. On the Mach-E, I can point at anybody's car and say, don't do that, don't do this. I found very little. The Mach-E, I love the doors. Why doesn't Tesla get rid of the stupid door handles and just put the button in? I mean, when you do, okay, so Munro does a lot of benchmarking. We don't do that to try and copy. The idea is to look at what somebody else has done and make it better and then introduce it into your product. You want to be better than best in class. That's what we do. And a good example, go and look at a Ram 1500, and then go and look at an F-150, and then go and look at the what do you call it, Chevy Silverado. Guess what? The Ram gives a ride that is killer. They've won Truck of the Year 3 years in a row, plus they won Luxury Vehicle of the Year. And it still does all the towing, and it still does all the other stuff. Okay, we're not the guys who did everything, but certainly we suggested a lot as to how to beat the guy doing this and what supplier can give you that. That's what we do for a living. And I think that when it comes to the Tesla vehicles, if you didn't do a deep job, a very, very good job at benchmarking Tesla and then put out a product, I mean, you're going to get guys like me criticizing it. So.
Can I defend two things though?
No, sorry, no.
Well, okay, so I have to say,
of course, it's your show.
The door handles, I totally understand, and you know, I'm talking about Model S door. I hate Model 3 and Model Y door handles, but the Model S door handles, I always loved them. I thought it was such a pleasure. It was the first point of interacting with a car, and it's already so awesome. And I loved coming to my car and seeing the door handle pops out. Granted, you're right. They had a lot of problems with those door handles. It was a pain. But something to be said about the experience versus the price you pay for it. And I don't just mean in dollars, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, and so, but at the same time, the knob on the Mach-E screen. So right now it just does volume, right? In the future it will do like air conditioning and other things. But I think the reason I liked it is because if I'm driving and I just want to grab something physically without looking down, right? Because you know, touch screen, you don't know where you're clicking if you're not looking. So that's for people who just wanted to increase or decrease their volume or air conditioning without looking down. That's why I thought it was actually pretty cool. But I know you probably think that it's one more thing to break.
Exactly, and I got all those controls on my steering wheel.
That is true. That is true. All right. Well, I just thought that I would just give my 2 cents. My conversation.
You're never going to invite me back anymore.
No. I know in my conversation with you, I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to present it, the other side as much as I can. But okay, so now you know, I just hope some of them are watching. Whoever is in charge of Volkswagen, Ford, and so forth, and maybe do take your advice or someone else's advice where they need to design things better. Now, the reason they design all these things where it's just too many parts and too heavy and everything, do you think this is still the mentality of theirs from how they used to design the gas cars, or just a lack of imagination?
You know what? I really don't know, because I don't know. I talked to a lot of the people who are higher up at Volkswagen, and got the impression that things were really, really going in the right direction. And then after we did the ID4 review, I got people who are Volkswagen engineers and whatnot saying you couldn't be more spot on. And my dad tried the ID4 and went out and bought a Model 3 and on and on. I mean, we got a lot of feedback, Most of it, I mean, you know, I don't want to get too deep into, but a lot of Volkswagen people felt that that the ID4 had let them down, and that platform in general has let them down. So I don't know what to tell you about it. I don't know Volkswagen inside. Like I said, I got on a pedestal for Volkswagen. I thought they were going to kick everybody's ass and take over the planet, but they aren't going to do it with that platform. They need a serious scrubbing on there, and I would recommend doing it faster, because the faster they do it, the faster they can put it in, the faster they'll be able to get rid of or get back into the game. They should be better, way better. They should have been, maybe they couldn't have caught up to the Tesla whatevers in one fell swoop, but they should have been better than the Mach-E, and they're not. So.
All right. Well, looks like you have a to-do list for everybody. Tesla,
Hey.
Volkswagen, and Ford. So I hope they're watching.
Yeah. Well, there you are. Yeah. Yeah. So and the government, getting rid of people that are watching over things that we don't need to watch over. Get rid of those wing mirrors. You get rid of a bunch of guys at NISTA. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, listen. They have their work cut out for them. Really quick. Any plans on any new cars that you either would like to, you know, check out or go into? Anything on your top of your list?
I think we bought a Mach-E. So we're going to be doing a detailed analysis of the Mach-E. And the reason for that is because we got feedback from people who buy our reports, and they said, if you're going to do that, we'll buy a report. We didn't get anything on anybody wanting to have the ID4 looked at. So we are definitely going to be looking at the Mach-E. I would like to try and get a couple of Chinese vehicles. They're expensive to import and whatnot, and I'll have to find some kind of a sponsor that could help us out with that, because we'll never make money on them. You know, doing a report on those is expensive, and we're in business to make money. I have to feed these guys, and so I'd love to get some of the Chinese vehicles. The rest, we've looked at quite a number of other electric vehicles. They really didn't catch my attention or catch our attention or make us excited. So, but right now, what I'd like to see is if we could get something like that. In the near future, we have 2 Rivians on order, and we have 5 Cybertrucks. I'd like to dive into those, and hopefully, we'll be able to make some announcements on some of the cars that we've helped develop, and that'll be coming up probably in the fall or maybe winter this year. They'll be on the road.
Excellent. Well, Sandy, thanks so much once again. I know we'll continue this conversation as you check out more and more of Tesla's competition, and as Tesla, advances on its own. So thanks so much, and I will see you next time.
Yes, you will. Thank you very much for inviting me again, Alex. Thank you.
Okay, well, now I have a bit of a treat for my premium members, because I had another quick conversation with Sandy after this, asking him about, well, what does Tesla have to do to stay ahead of the competition? I posted that for those of you guys who are supporting my channel and my premium members. If you are not one, well, you can join by clicking the join button. It's less than $5 a month, and you get access to all kinds of cool premium and bonus material. So enjoy that. And of course, if you for some reason have not yet subscribed to Sandy's channel, well, I put a link to it in the description of this video. All right, looking forward to all of the comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.